Alright guys, it is time. I have been driving this for a little under 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks probably. I do have some cheap oil in there first to pretty much check all the leaks, check if there's any leaks, just to be able to get it going and in the first tuning process. But now it's time to put the good stuff in. As you guys can see, I have went with Castrol Euro 5W40, and you guys might be saying, well, this is not a Euro car. According to ChatGPT and AI and all the Miata forums, a lot of people are using actually Euro oil. It seems to be running a lot smoother and a lot better. Down and right in there, there's the sandwich plate for the oil cooler. Alright guys, I know you guys haven't seen this car in a minute, but here's the G37. Of course it needs a wash, but man, I forgot how good this looks. Custom made front bumper by Pro Builds. Man, it just sits right, it looks good. So it is another day. Did the oil change. This car has been a blast, guys. Once I went turbo, honestly, I want to have literally every car turbocharged. I think it's super fun. There's no other feeling than when you get into boost. Of course, you run into turbo complications. Right now, I do need a turbo timer, so when I do go into idle somewhere and I got to turn off the car, I do have to wait a little bit. Downside of turbo. What else? Of course, everything gets super hot very easily, guys. I didn't realize how much heat turbos actually produce in this whole downpipe area. I mean, this is just, it gets insanely hot. So good thing I got that turbo blanket. But yeah guys, did the oil change, got the K&N filter. You know, we did it right. I ended up putting that Euro oil, and man, it feels a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. It is smooth, it feels good, and actually the temperature is actually a lot cooler. And what I'm noticing is I have a oil temp and pressure gauge inside, and I'm noticing the temp is a lot cooler. It also stays a lot cooler for a lot longer, so that's good. I did end up going with 0W40, I believe. I was gonna go with 10W40, but I ended up 0W40.
So let's see what we can find here. Everything looks good in this side. The bump stops still in there. I think I did buy new bump stops, but I might not even need them.
So right now guys, we're literally just looking at whatever void car is literally destroyed.
He did the whole thing. He fucked this thing up.
And I mean, I'm telling you, like, it sucks, because if I was driving, none of this would have happened. Nah, but he's a good driver. Honestly guys, for him starting out on this car, it's pretty good.
This is a crazy car for it to be your first car, and he did take care of it pretty decently. So whatever he hit under there, that person, you know, he wiped away the blood, he washed it away. He
did hide the evidence pretty good.
He hid the evidence pretty good. It's, yeah.
So you guys, if you guys remember from the first video, we did the front, and then now we're doing the rears.
So look, you can see this boot is destroyed from this side. I don't know how it compared to the other side, you know? And I'm gonna measure this. I'm gonna measure the distance that they have this extended, make sure that they were even, because you saw the other side wasn't even. So we have about 8 inches from here.
Yeah guys, so one side, the passenger rear was 8 inches, and then what is this side?
We have 7 inches. So I'm measuring from the bottom of this locking ring right here, okay, to the top of the strut right here where it starts. So I'm measuring that distance. So you can see we have 7, okay? And yeah, the struts do not determine the ride height. It's a spring in here. We're gonna have to check that, because look how off this is. This is ridiculous. And guys, look at this side. I'm measuring it exactly the same. Look, to the top and to the bottom of the locking washer right here, this locking nut. So look at that. It is 8 inches. So they're completely off. This vehicle will not handle properly.
this one's tighter.
That's gonna be the noises you won't hear on the noise.
Yeah.
I think the spring height might be wrong too. All right. What do you think I'm gonna show you right now?
Wait.
Let's see. Look at this, guys. What do you think is happening here? You're spending over $1,000 on these coilovers on this suspension setup, and you don't even install it correctly. This is what happens when you're chasing looks. This is what happens when you're just chasing the car looking good for it being slammed. You run into this situation where you're just trying to make it look good and you have no idea what's going on. Guys, look at this. This isn't any good. Wake up!
If you have a tray, I can put the nuts on.
Alright, so this part sits inside the lower control arm, and this adjusts the right height. This is where the spring, so this sits in the bottom of the control arm, and the spring sits like this. Now, let's check out if they're even. We're gonna just place this just like this, like that. You can see one of them is touching and the other one isn't. You can see that there is a gap. Now, yes, it's only about a millimeter or so it's off, but not by that much, but it's still off. Okay, so just like we found everything else, nothing's even. This isn't even as well. So you can see that this part seems to be a little bit higher than this one. So we're gonna measure what the difference is right now, and I'm going to measure that. So right now we have about 17.10 millimeters. I'm gonna zero that in, and now I'm gonna put this here, and there's gonna be a little bit more travel. So now we're flat. It's only 1.42 millimeters of a difference. So it's very small. It's a very small amount. So this isn't as critical as you saw with the struts. It's a whole inch of a difference. It is off by a little bit, but it's off. All right, guys, let me show you what I have discovered, and it's pretty disturbing. So first, we're gonna start with the struts, and then we're gonna move our way towards the springs. So here we go. Here's the struts. This is the passenger side, and this is the driver's side. Check this out. Look at the difference, guys. What is going on here? Huh? Once again, we have uneven adjusted coilovers. Once again. Now, yes, this is not like the ones in the front. These have the springs separated from the strut, but still, these are adjustable down here, okay? Whenever you guys are doing this, make sure to adjust them evenly. This will affect how your car behaves. So let's say this one has a lot more travel than this guy because of the length that it has. So it's gonna start to act differently because it's reaching the end of its movement all the way to the bottom. It's reaching the end of its travel, and then it starts to get a little bit harder than this guy. So one side will behave differently than the other. This is very important when you're setting up your coilovers. If you're spending $1,000 for these, okay, these are $1,200 make sure you get it installed properly. Look up how to do this, take your time and measure, or just eyeball it. Look, this is way off. Even if I was to sit here and adjust it manually, okay, I would be able to do a better job than this. This sits in the bottom of the control arms, and this is what determines your ride height, because this is your springs sit right in here. So this whole contraption in the bottom adjusts your ride height. Now, it's off, not by much, it's only off by a millimeter or so, and I measured it, but I'm gonna put these together and I'm gonna zoom in on the camera. I'm gonna show you how much it's off by. See, it's only off by a little hair, a little millimeter, and then I'm gonna show you with the caliper right now. This is the shorter side, and then now that I have the length, I'm gonna zero it in, and then I'm gonna measure the other side, and it should give me the difference. So here we go. It's very small, it's just 1.50. It's very small, but it's off.
Rebuilding coilovers is one of the best things you can do to bring your suspension back to life. When struts are worn out, bushings are broken, or things are uneven, you lose handling, comfort, and overall control. Coilovers give you full adjustability, ride height, damping, preload, and when they're in good shape, they completely transform how a car feels. You get better cornering, more grip, less body roll, and a more planted driving experience. But the problem is, most people today only care about how their car looks. Everyone's obsessed with slamming their ride to the ground, stretching tires on flashy wheels, and making their exhaust shoot flames. But they forget that once you lower a car too far, your center of gravity gets out of balance, your roll center drops too much, and your suspension geometry goes to trash. Cars built for racing, like track Miatas, Time Attack 370Zs, and even Le Mans GT cars, aren't slammed. They're low with purpose. Every angle, every bushing, every setting is optimized for balance and performance. Rebuilding coilovers means bringing them back to spec, fresh dampers, solid bushings, and everything working like it should. Kids today want attention at car meets, but the real ones care about how the car drives. Rebuilding your suspension gives you confidence in every corner, on the street or track. It's not about looks, it's about performance. You can always make a car louder, but you can't fake grip, stability, or handling. If you're building a car, do it right. A clean setup with rebuilt coilovers will always outperform a slammed ride scraping the ground.
Yeah.
Hit harder. At 20, 27, and 180. Uh-oh, the other side is lower. That's what's so the wheel needs to, you know, drive it around because it actually moves down just.
All right, guys, we put all the struts back in. We put everything, replace everything. It is really good now. Now we just got to dial in the right height. But if you guys are enjoying these videos, guys, make sure you guys give me a like, comment down below on what you guys enjoy the most, and of course on what you guys want to see. We could put maybe more Turbo Miata content, more G35 content. I got to do more videos of the G35. I haven't done them. Some more G35 content. You guys let me know. We're going to be almost done with this 370Z. We're going to be able to test it out now. It should be driving really good now. Of course, before we had uneven ride heights, different preload sets. I mean, everything was off. So everything should be pretty good now. We just got to dial in the height adjustments. But again, subscribe, comment down below, and you know, just share the love, guys.